What's up, my dudes? Today I'll be teaching you about sigils and how to make them. This is going to be a very beginner-friendly video, so if you pretty much know what sigils are and how to use them, you don't necessarily have to watch this video, but this is more for the people that wanted to know more about sigils and wanted to know how to create your own and how to use them properly, maybe where to use them. These are just some general things about sigils that beginners should know. I'm going to be doing this for very basic things, but if you would like to have a custom phrase or like have something customized to you, you can pretty much use the same process. If you just feel like a symbol is drawn to you and that has a certain meaning to you, you can just use that as a sigil. It's not really like you have to have something that someone else already has. If you would like to just make your own and just do your own thing, then you can. This is mainly for the beginners anyway, so you don't really have to worry about doing anything specifically towards like a certain group. So if you would like to just practice like neutrally, then you can just do this type of sigils. There are different sigils for different religions and also different practices. If you would like to look those up, then you can. Those will just be certain sigils that you can use for certain occasions, but if you just like to know a general thing, then you can watch this video. And again, these are just in my opinion and how I'm doing this. This does not mean this is the be all and end all of making sigils. You can create them however you see fit. If you would like to just copy them from someone else, then you can. Or if you would just like to make something else or maybe do something differently with this technique that I'm going to show you, then you can. It's all up to you and what you feel comfortable with and what you're actually going to use. It doesn't make sense to have sigils and maybe you don't like the aesthetic of it, or maybe you just don't like it. So it's better to pick something that you would actually use and something that you would actually incorporate into your practice. But yeah, let's get right into making them. Okay, so to make the sigils, all you're basically going to need is some kind of piece of paper and some kind of writing utensils. It really doesn't matter what kind of color you use. All that matters is that you have something to write with. So the first thing you want to do is you want to figure out what kind of phrase you want. So I'm going to start with protection. And you can have whatever type of phrase you want. You can have multiple words if you want, but this is just an example. So the first thing you want to do is you want to cross out all the vowels. So that will be the O, the E, the I, and the O. And then I'm going to cross out the T also just because it's a double. So then you're left with P, R, T, C, and N. So what you want to do is figure out which numbers coincide with these letters. So for the P, you're going to go over here and you can see that is a 7. So it's going to be 7. For R, it is going to be 9. So it's going to be 9. For T, it is going to be 2. For C, it is going to be 3. And for N, it is going to be 5. Now what you can do is, if you do not want to have a written sigil, you just want to have a numerical sigil, you can just have this number written as is. So you would just have 79235. Or what you can also do is you can create a number wheel. So you would start with the 7, you would go to the 9, then you would go to the 2, which is right next to it, and then you would go to the 3, and then you would go to the 5. And that will look something like this. So you would go down to the 9, over to the 2, over to the 3, down to the 5, and then that would be your sigil. Now this sigil can be any complex way you want it to be. You can have it like this. You can throw some dashes in there just for extra effect. You can make the lines a little bit more creative, do a little curves at the end. You can do whatever you want with this sigil as long as you feel that it's relevant to you and it's to your aesthetic. Now something also you can do is you can place your sigils into a symbol. So I have 3 symbols down here. These are a shield, a circle, and a cross. You can either have your sigil either be inside of this, or you can have multiple sigils and have them around it. So say if you wanted to have your sigil inside of this, then you can do something like this, where you pretend that the shape of the wheel is the shape that you are doing. So you would start from here, from the 7, then you would go to the 9, go over to the 2, go over to the 3, and down to the 5. And you can have it like that, or you can have it to where it's the same thing but just in a different direction. So say if you wanted to have this a little bit more curvy, so you would just say the same thing. You would just go to the 7, go to the 9, go to the 2, go to the 3, and then go to the 5. You can do it that way if you want it to be a bit more curvy. You can do it however way you see fit, as long as your sigil and whatever you're doing applies to you. You can also do this with multiple different words. So say if you want to say I am protected, that really wouldn't work because it's only one extra letter after you take out the vowels. But if you want to say I am protected and safe at home, then you can do the same thing, and maybe you can have different sigils in each of these different things. So it really doesn't matter what type of sigils you want to do, as long as whatever you're doing fits into a certain type of thing. You could also use runes, and you can use different symbols from different religions or different ideologies that you coincide with, but this is more of just the basics, and this is the basic type of sigils that you can do. If you would like to do something else, you could also have this number circle be a grid, so you can just have it be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then you can do the same thing. So the 7, then go to the 9, then go to the 2, then go to the 3, then go back down to the 5. So that'll look something like this, and you could have that be your sigil. Now it doesn't have to be exact. You can obviously do any sigils the way that you want, but these are two common methods if you want to use the numerical system. But also if you just want to have a bit more variety in your sigil. So maybe if you have this for a certain type of protection, then you have maybe home protection, use a different style or a different method. It's really the same thing. As long as whatever you're doing coincides with whatever type of outcome or whatever type of effect that you want, then your sigil will work for this. And also a good way to charge your sigil is to either cut it off in a piece of paper and burn it, or you can also just write it onto something and have your sigil activated that way. Sigils don't necessarily have to be activated. As soon as you write them, they're technically activated, but if you just want to use a certain elements, then you can, or if you just wanted to have it written, then you can. So yeah, that's how you make sigils, and that's how you can use them, and a little bit of where you can use them also. This video is geared towards more beginners, so if you're a beginner and you would like to know anything else about witchcraft or witchcraft related content, just subscribe to my channel. And every Friday I'm going to be posting a video, and every Wednesday I'm going to try and post a short. If I don't necessarily post a short, then I'll just have my regular Friday video, but I'm trying to post shorts every so often so I can get these little questions out there and maybe answer some questions that people have maybe wanted to ask me, but they don't want to go out and ask for me specifically. They're just different things that I would think beginners would also want to know, and also some things that people have mentioned to me that they would like to know. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Have a good day, night, life. Enjoy yourself and be happy.